And what Levin argues is that all over the world, nations are coming to terms with the fact that the social democratic welfare state is turning out to be untenable and unaffordable, dependent upon dubious economics and the demographic model of a bygone era. In other words, just like the Europeans, we are spending ourselves to death. We simply cannot go on this way. Now, that might not seem as scary as an asteroid or as global warming, but Levin showed this graph. This graph shows the percentage of U.S. If you take the total federal debt and you divide it into the total GDP, what is it? And what you see is that at the Revolutionary War, we borrow a lot of money. Debt goes up to about 35, 37% of total GDP. Of course, you have to borrow money to fight a war, and then you pay it off, you pay it off, you pay it off. Oh, and then there's the Civil War. Once again, very expensive, borrow a lot of money, pay it off, pay it off. Oh, there's the World War I. We barely paid that off when we hit the Depression and then World War II. Astronomical levels of debt to fight World War II. I mean, this was vastly more expensive. Debt goes up over 100%, about 115% of GDP. Astronomical levels. We pay it off, pay it off, pay it off. And then what's this? What's this long, slow rise since the 70s? The latter part of it is partly the mess that George W. Bush made of the budget, but the overall underlying trend is rising entitlements, especially for health care and especially for the elderly. And this is where we are, and the baby boomers haven't even retired yet. And when they do, this is where we're going. This is the estimate from the CBO based on what they see as the most realistic future projections. So this, I hope you'll see, is as serious as well, this is an unsustainable, impossible situation. Now, the right has been screaming about entitlement spending since the 60s, saying this is a Ponzi scheme, this is insanity, we're bankrupting ourselves. And the left said, no, we don't want to listen. All we have to do is tax the rich a little bit more, just ask the rich to pay a little bit more, and we can pay it off. That's not true. It's going to take a hell of a lot more than that. So what you might notice then is that these two graphs are actually identical. Not in terms of the x and y axes, but in terms of their moral import. Let me translate them for you into English. They both say, what's wrong with you people in the other party? Why do you deny reality? We've got to get moving. We've got to solve this problem. And the longer we wait, the harder it's going to be. If you can't help, then get the hell out of the way. Now, our tragedy is that these asteroids are both technically deflectable. We can solve both of these problems. But because of our politics, because of the way we are with our moral psychology, the louder one side screams about a threat, the more the other side denies it and stops hearing it. So we can't deal with these problems. If we're going to deal with them, we've got to learn more about our moral psychology and figure out how to get it working for us rather than against us. One of the basic principles of moral psychology is that morality binds and blinds. It binds us to